Why were you interested in this real case?
Well, I was interested in the story for a variety of reasons. I was really interested in the real guy, in the real Ralph Sarchie. You know, meeting him, I'd never met anybody like him. Well, I never will meet anybody like him, you know. Such a hardcore cop, first of all. I was really impressed by how much other cops in the 4-6 precinct in the Bronx respect him. You know, here's a guy who's working undercover at night in the most violent crime precinct in the country, in the United States, 300 arrests. He was a guy getting in fights every night, chasing down perps. He's been shot. And then he's investigating the paranormal as well, and he's teaming up with an exorcist, and he's attended or been a part of like 20 exorcisms. There's no one in the world like Ralph Sarchie. So the originality of that guy was what made me first want to make the movie. But then I also just really liked the idea of blending genres, you know, of making something that was a police procedural and a police action thriller and a supernatural thriller horror film, like putting all that together and combining it into one film. I thought was really worth doing because I hadn't seen a movie that had done that before. As for the exorcism material, yeah, I like a good exorcism, you know, scene. They're very hard to do well. I think I did a pretty good one with Emily Rose, and of course I love the original Exorcist. But there aren't very many memorable scenes, you know, that really show an exorcism and really go somewhere and do something. And so I wanted to try to top myself and push myself to make a scene that had some more shock and awe than maybe we'd seen before, and was in an unlikely environment. And of course, that in the end is a filmmaking challenge, and it's an acting challenge, you know. And I happen to have 3 world-class actors who are all up for the challenge as well.
How was the experience of having the real Ralph Sarchie on set?
You know, he was great. You know, he's a lot like the character in the movie. You know, he's kind of like a caged animal. You know, there's a lot of anger and violence in him, which he uses, I think, and it's part of what made him an intimidating and powerful cop in the years that he was working as an officer. On set, he was always really respected the boundaries of you know, what I was doing and what his role was. So he never got involved in the story. He never tried to give any advice about the movie we were making or how he was being portrayed. He was there to do one job, and that was to make sure that our actors acted like cops, and that everything regarding the police stations was right. And he would constantly catch stuff. He would say, hey, Scott, no, the guy would never say that. A cop would not, he wouldn't say it like that, he would say this. No, if he's gonna hand him his gun, he's gonna hand him his gun like this. And so he was always he's like on the police radio, no, they wouldn't say that, they would say this. And so every day, almost, he was fixing things to make sure that the NYPD was being properly represented, the New York Police Department. And he, you know, my favorite moment of that was when Eric and Joel have to break in a door and they sweep through an apartment looking for Santino, the Sean Harris character. And I remember watching Ralph say, okay, if he kicks in the door, you have to cross here, and you have to lower your shotgun as you cross here, and then you're gonna do what's called cutting a pie, and then you gotta go to the doorway here and peek around this way, and like, he showed him how to do it all. And he's now you gotta do it all in 15 seconds, you know? And that was his job, and so it was great having him there. I loved having him there.
How do you feel about entering the Marvel Universe with Doctor Strange?
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't be more excited to be doing it. Obviously, I'm definitely doing it. It's my next movie. I can say that. But yeah, you know, Marvel's making some of the best movies in the world, and you know, and to be a part of that tradition is an honor. You know, and Doctor Strange is my favorite comic, so I'm certainly excited about that.